Need guide on choosing a steak? Ask for Vantador tasting chart. Vantador is diverse when it comes to the many steak options we serve. To help simplify your best choices on what to order, we are going to do a steak choosing guide based on steak flavor and the tenderness of the meat. So let's start with the full-blood Angus 200 days. Vantador has selected this Angus that is fed for 200 days. This extended feeding period increases the amount of intramuscular fat, which is also known as marbling. The fat packs in the flavor of the meat. Increasing the fat content through a longer feed cycle results in the unique taste and tenderness of the meat. This Australian meat presents a balanced tenderness and tasty meat. Vantador is specialized in dry-aged steak. Dry aging is a process of hanging meat in a controlled environment approximately for a month. During this process, the beef's natural enzymes break down the connective tissue in the muscle, which leads to further tenderisation of the meat texture. At the same time, moisture is evaporated from the muscle, creating a greater concentration and saturation of the natural flavor. Well, we know you're still a big fan of super tender steak. It's no secret Wagyu is an all-time favorite among many. One of it is partially due to the higher levels of intramuscular fat, or marbling it has, that makes the tenderness of the meat the sole reason why it is a famous steak. You are guaranteed to have a melt-in-your-mouth dining experience. On the other hand, Vantador has exclusively brought in a Galician blonde, Rubia Gallega, which currently being crowned as the best-tasting steak in the world. Rubia Gallega is old Spanish ox that are over 8 years old, all the way up to 15 years old. This beef is known for its subtle marbling and covered by creamy fat coat. The unique taste experience is due to the natural and free way the cattle are reared. This steak has an extremely intense flavor that bursts in your mouth. This steak earned the highest scoring in the flavoring. Bear in mind that it's an old ox. Do not expect it to be as tender as Wagyu. We have been hearing the debates between fans of Wagyu and supporter of Rubia Gallega, due to different preference on flavor versus texture. That lead us to the idea of incorporating both tenderness and flavor into a meat. Thus, Vantador came up with the butter-aged Wagyu. Believe me when I say this steak is the best of both worlds in one piece of meat. It allows you to enjoy the tenderness of the Wagyu itself plus an enhanced flavor. In conclusion, if you're looking for a balanced taste and texture, you can go for the butter-aged Wagyu. For the most tender meat, you can opt for Wagyu. As for the intense flavor, it's clear that dry-aged Rubia Gallega is a winner. There you have it. We hope with this simple guide video, you are able to choose your preferred steak that'll suit you. Now, which steak is your choice? Come and try for yourself here in Vantador.